Oh, baby, baby.
All right, hello, welcome back to the Wolf Den. I'm the Wolf,
Daady-O.
and we want to welcome you to our new show,
This is Wanna Wrestle.
Wanna Wrestle. We will be, we will be releasing these videos Thursdays. I don't have a set time for you guys as I've actually picked up a second job and I've returned to school, but I will do my best to get these out on Thursday.
hmm And don't forget our premiere podcast. That's where we're going to cover superhero movies, TV, books, whatever,
TV shows.
and a lot of MCU. And since DC's kind of stepping it up, we'll include them in.
Yeah, we'll get them
too.
back. They were supposed to be in there originally, but I mean, I saw the Batman trailer. Looks interesting. Oh, but I'm sorry, we're gonna get off topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the next
Mhm.
episode of the premiere podcast, episode number 17.
Yeah, that was my ring. Sorry,
So
guys.
uh, just be on the lookout for that in the next few days. And our other shows are still in the works, and we'll have more information on that coming soon. So we've got to backtrack a lot because he's been so busy. And I want to go over, okay, we're going to go back to Dark 46, which was 3 weeks ago.
Did we not talk
But we
about
didn't
that
see
one?
no, and I didn't see the entire episode, so I don't have all of it there. But I'll go over the matches that they did have. They had Ray Phoenix was in a singles match. I don't know. Pentagon Jr. is back, but for some reason he was in. Maybe they take it.
Did you mean Ray Phoenix then?
It's pronounced Phoenix.
Okay.
Actually, it's Phoenix. I think the X is pronounced differently, but because there's a little mark over the X. Anyway, who also, I guess, in his tag status, the Luchas are 8-5. But anyway, Ray Phoenix against Lee Johnson, who has just been a singles wrestler on Dark for now, and then he's part of MJF's
Little
campaign
homies. I don't know.
campaign staff. I guess that would be
Okay.
it. And so what? And this was. I'm pretty sure this was the episode. If I didn't make a note of it, I'll tell you what happened. Was Phoenix, of course, won,
Mhm.
but Lee Johnson is, like I said, he's part of the MJF staff. They're all wearing Team MJF buttons or MJF 2020 buttons, and Lee Johnson was out there in tights and no shirt. And so after the match, Wardlow came out, and I thought Wardlow was going to beat him down for losing. But Wardlow was carrying the MJF button, and I thought, well, maybe he's going to stick him with it.
Ow!
But he actually just like forced Johnson to. He attached it to his tights, to his waistband. And I thought he was going to get, and even after that, I thought there was going to be a beatdown, but Wardlow just kind of turned around and left. But it's like, you make sure you wear that at all times.
Yeah, make sure you're wearing that.
Sean Spears, who's got an 8-2 record now, which is not bad. He should be ranked.
I think he is
in the top 5 somewhere.
I don't have my phone
to look at the new rankings. Against a guy named Alex Chamberlain. I don't remember much about Chamberlain. Spears picked up the win. Then there was this guy called Mbadu.
That's his name.
Yeah, he comes out in a total hardcore African gimmick. And he was with Captain Sean Dean, who really hasn't. He's just a jobber, I guess, because he hasn't picked up any wins. Against Gun Club, which is
it's Billy and his son.
Yeah, Billy Gunn and his son Austin. And as a tag match, it was pretty good. Gun Club picked up the win. And then the last thing I got to see in there, and I don't have the notation of who picked up the win, it was Kip Sabian against this guy called Marvelous Michael Stevens.
I'm pretty sure Kip Sabian won that if it was on Dark.
Yeah. So that's 46. We'll take care of that. I'll have to go back and see if I can find the other information. So then we're going to go to 47, which you did watch with me, or you watched part of it with me. So
is that the one where I was falling asleep?
Probably.
Okay.
Kip Sabian, he has a 13-10 record.
Really?
Yeah. for
Huh.
this year.
Oh wait, 13-10. I thought you said like 13-0, and I was like, that's really good.
Now 13-10 again, and he went up against Michael Naka Naka Nakazawa, and he's a good utility wrestler. He's a good mid carder guy,
Hmm.
and he's what does Taz call him? The king of Turkish oil wrestling
I think so, something like that.
because of his baby oil
Well,
gimmick. And I don't think he used it in this match. Oh, I think that was Sabian took it and
mm,
threw it out in the crowd somewhere. Um, Next was a tag match with Sean Dean and Frank Stone. Sean Dean's a good Captain Sean Dean. He's like I said, he's a good for a mid card guy.
mhm.
Against your favorite team with the name you gave him,
Oh yeah, that was the one I was falling asleep on. Uh, what was?
Janela.
Yeah, it was the Bad Kiss, I think is what
Yeah,
I called
Joey
him.
Janela and Sonny Rose,
Sunny Kiss,
Sonny Kiss, Durr,
the Concrete Rose Sunny Kiss.
Kiss, and we
Yeah,
call him Bad Kiss.
yeah.
It's a cool name.
I was like, so for that episode, I was really tired, and I was falling asleep, and I guess I just knew that match was going on, and I came up with that name.
And Bad Kiss are 7-1
Oh wow,
right
yeah,
now.
that's pretty good.
As far as last week goes, episode 48 is on this afternoon. I'll be trying to catch that. Next
I'll be
was
working.
Will Hobbs. You've seen him now.
Yeah, he does look like Keith Lee. You're right.
Yeah, Will Hobbs against Sean Spears. Spears is at a 10-2 record
Hmm.
as of that week.
Hmm.
Sean Spears picked up the win over Hobbs. Hobbs is going to be around for a while.
I think so. Yeah.
I think they're
Well,
pretty
wasn't he
happy.
on Dynamite?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's coming. Um, the Hybrid 2 finally returned as
Yeah.
a team, not just a singles match.
Hmm.
I think that was part of Dark 46 was Angelico did a singles match. But the Hybrid 2 together made their comeback against the team with the best name,
Oh, the Initiative.
Initiative, who are 0-10.
Dang, they need a win. They have such a cool name. I want their shirt. The
And they are so close now to
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, they're like gelling, I guess you can say,
Hmm.
together more than some other tag teams.
Hmm.
They are right there. I don't know how long they want to keep them on this losing streak gimmick. I hope it's not a Kurt Hawkins situation.
Yeah, but that was his choice. He didn't
Yeah,
want them to
he
break
wanted to go to 0-250.
it. Mm.
I hope they don't want to do that with the Initiative. The Initiative are they're playing off that they don't like each other,
Hmm.
and they do that really well.
But then they're working really well as a tag team.
Yeah, and their mic skills are good. Leva Bates is good as their manager. So, but she needs to wrestle too. And but the Initiative lost, of course, and to the Hybrid 2 that returned from quarantine, I guess, because I think they're a Canadian team, and Canada wasn't letting people out yet. Uh,
Oh, Canada.
Abaddon, who we said in the previous episode, it looks like they're really high on her right now. They're going to give her a pretty big push, and she'll be in the main roster because she is at 4-1
Hmm.
since her debut, and she picked up a win against Red Velvet. Red Velvet's tagline is "Straight from your mama's kitchen."
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What I don't know what that means.
Uh,
And red velvet cake
and then
is,
like she does like this mixing motion or something.
red velvet anything, cupcakes, cake, whatever. It's just chocolate cake with red food coloring.
Yeah, but it's also straight from your mama's kitchen because you have to bake it in the oven.
I
Guess.
I don't get it.
Then there was the team of D3. I don't know if he's another uh, D&D character because that's a bad role if it is.
Well, I mean, on a D3, it's a 1 to 3, so a three's not is like the best you can do. I mean, I don't know.
A guy called Ryzen and another
Is
guy.
it supposed to be Ryzen?
No, it's Ryzin. Ryzen.
Oh, maybe he's rising to the top.
He didn't go nowhere in this
No,
match.
then apparently he's not.
And then a guy I have seen before, Fabu Andre.
I
If
got
you
nothing.
take
Fabio.
no, what's his name from Tyler Breeze?
Mm-hmm.
If you take his Prince Pretty and put him with any other flamboyant character,
Fandango.
no, I mean flamboyant as in gay.
Oh,
So he kissed or anybody. That's Fabu Andre.
hmm.
They went against Dark Order 3 and 4 and Colt Cabana.
I hope he joins.
So that's Reynolds and Silver
Mm-hmm.
and Colt Cabana, which picked up the win over those three nobodies. That was a good match. Silver and Reynolds are good. It's weird because you got two tag teams. You got 3 and 4, and then you've got Grayson and Uno,
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2. And now there's a possibility of at least maybe Brody Lee and Colt Cabana as a tag team.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It's the Dark Order is so expansive now.
Yeah, and they finally have credibility to their claims, which we'll get to.
Yeah. So anyway, also we've got Ricky Starks against Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson is 0 and 13.
0 and 13.
I don't know if I would keep showing up to work. I don't know.
Well, Kurt Hawkins did.
You need the paycheck. Ricky Starks picked up that win. You saw a little bit of Ricky on Sammy Guevara's vlog that we watched today. Vlog.
Video
today.
log.
So you kind of see his personality a little bit.
Right.
And so you know why he's getting a major push right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Donati, this is another tag match. Tony Donati, who's been on there like once before, maybe last year,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy called Baron Black.
Not Aaron Black.
No, Baron Black. And forgettable. Went against Proud and Powerful,
Mm-hmm.
which
They won.
is Santana and Ortiz, and they picked up a win finally.
Well, at least they went on Dark.
They haven't, though. They've been on Dark before and lost.
Mm.
So finally they picked up another win. Then there was the handicap match. It was John Cruz and Jesse Sorensen against Lance Archer.
Well, I assume Lance Archer won.
He did.
So he's doing a Ryback where he's wrestling two people at once.
Yeah, he beat down those two. A second Dark Order match was Billy Gunn against Alan Angels.
Unfortunately, Billy Gunn won that. Huh?
Let's take the biggest dude, almost the biggest dude on the roster,
Mm-hmm.
Billy Gunn. That dude, you don't know if you remember him from WWE, and he was always in a tag, so you didn't get a really good judge of his size.
Mm-hmm.
But over here, he's like the biggest guy they got. Well, not necessarily, but he's huge, man.
Pretty big.
And it was him against Alan Angels, who is the smallest guy in the Dark Order. He's even smaller than Anna Jay.
Right. I thought you were going to say Marco Stunt.
No, but he just meant he's the smallest guy in the Dark Order. So Billy Gunn did pick up the win, and he got Alan Angels got berated by 3 and 4, I believe. Oh no, by Grayson and Uno. The next was the teaming of Butcher and Blade and the Lucha Brothers against SCU and Private Party.
Well, who won that one?
Actually, the Butcher and Blade and the Luchas picked up the win on that. And that was a really good match. That was where that was the second time Butcher, Blade, and the Luchas teamed together, because the first time was that one match against the Elite. Remember?
Yeah. No, did that happen on Dark or was that on Dynamite?
It was probably on Dynamite.
No, that Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Well, I'm clarifying.
Yeah, that'll be coming up later. That's why I said that was the second time that they've. Okay, and we've got. Oh, no, you didn't do this. You didn't. Can you, off the top of your head, can you pick out your 5 favorite tags? teams.
5 favorite tags. Jurassic Express, Dark Order,
And these are in no particular order.
no, you just said 5.
Right. Well, I'm at top 5, but
Gotcha. Well, yeah, it's not in an order because I'd have to
okay,
think a
that's
little
2.
bit harder. Yeah, I know. Joey Janela and Sunny Kiss. I think they're pretty cool. Uh, not the entire elite, but I do like Omega and Paige working together.
As a tag.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I like the last call is their finisher. It's pretty
The
cool.
V trigger lariat.
The buckshot into the V trigger are at the same time.
Yeah.
That's good. What am I at? 4?
Yep.
All right. Probably Private Party. They're really high energy. They do a lot. And was it Isaiah Cassidy proves that he can hold his own. I mean, he went one on one with Cody. They're entertaining. They're doing a kind of a different gimmick. Their weight is measured in cranberry vodka, which is funny because they say 24 ounces of cranberry,
Vodka cranberry.
but like that's just two 12-ounce bottles.
Right.
So
So yeah, that's kind of weird.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, they do a gimmick a little differently, and Isaiah Cassidy, like I
Well,
said,
now they're aligned with Matt Hardy.
Hardy, yeah.
Well,
So
maybe because now he's gone crazy again.
and killing Guevara.
Yeah.
What's with them in killing? I think I've said this numerous times. But what's with them in trying to kill Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, and it was funny that I remembered that when I was watching the unrestricted podcast this morning or last night with Guevara, and he said when he got in the inner circle, he thought it was really cool, but then he looked at the caliber of who these wrestlers are, and he went, "Oh, I'll be the one taking the bumps for this for this faction." First, it was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take some cool bumps. I don't mind." And he looked at I'll take all the bumps,
Yeah.
which they and he talked about, I'll do this real quickly. He talked about the Stadium Stampede, the 40-foot.
One Winged Angel.
Yeah, I guess he had texted Tony Khan and he wanted to do something special. So he's like, "Hey man, I'll jump off the top of the stadium. I don't care. Just let's do something." And then it was like, "Well, it's 200 feet, so no, you're not going to be jumping off." And then he's like, "Oh, it's all right." And they had a stunt coordinator, movie stunt coordinator, come in and figured out that they were going to do the one-winged angel, but they only got approved for 40 feet. He wanted to go higher.
Really?
Yeah. And then I guess he said he went before the show and he went to, or when they were rehearsing, and he told Kenny, he's like, "You're going to do this, you're going to do this and you'll do it. You won't make no mistakes, right?" And like he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine." And he was like, "Oh crap!" But he did take the 40-foot one-winged angel into the boxes or whatever they had down there. But yeah, so yeah, I know you're talking about. Do you like Sammy? I wrote this down because of watching. It must have been watching Dark. Was my new favorite tag team is Grayson and Uno. Grayson is one of the just like he doesn't he's deceptive looking. He doesn't look like he's that big. He was Braxton Sutter in Impact, but over here as Stu Grayson, he's doing like really good work. JR has gone to say he's probably one of the most talented guys they have on the entire roster, which that's high praise coming from JR.
Right.
And I love it, and I love Evil Uno's attitude, his swagger, his walk, where he puts his arm behind his back, and he's like,
right.
Yeah, I just love those guys. Now.
You know who they should get because of just kind of those mannerisms make me think of Damien Sandow as the intellectual savior of the masses. He's holding the thing like the mic like a wine glass.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Or I think it's Aaron Rex. This is what he's going by.
No, he's Aaron Stevens.
Oh, Aaron Stevens.
And he's acting. I saw him on an episode of Magnum PI. He had no lines, but he played like some psycho guy that got out of prison was broke into this house to kill somebody, but they
Hmm.
stopped him, of course. My second favorite tag team is now the Lucha Brothers.
Hmm.
I don't think they should go back to Death Triangle. I think that needs to be dropped.
Hmm.
Pac is stuck in England until travel restrictions are lifted.
Right.
So, I mean, that was a good thing to start with. It kind of reminds me of when Eddie Guerrero started the LWO, which I just watched a little special on. Forgot all about it till I watched it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember all that. Anyway, Pac was like, you're keeping us down.
Hmm.
We're the baddest, we're the craziest, we're the most violent, so we're going to band together. And they became the Death Triangle. But that's gone to pot. So I don't think they need to. I think the Luchas are better off without him. Not to say anything bad about Pac. He's a good wrestler. He's a
Hmm.
great wrestler, as a matter of fact. They still say, Ollie
Hmm.
from Wrestle Talk says that uh, Pac's match against Cassidy is like the best match of all time in AEW. My third favorite team now is FTR.
Yeah.
They've got it. They've got it. They've hit their stride as far as how they work together and how creative they are, and their
Hmm.
attitude and everything. Um, Fourth favorite team is the Butcher and Blade. Those guys have really grown on me.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, except they wasted steak, but whatever.
And then my fifth team, because once you see all the tag teams, but then you go back and you watch the OGs, the
Hmm.
Young Bucks, dude,
Mm.
they're crazy. They're awesome. They're what do they call them? Double team offenses.
Hmm.
Offense is far superior to just about everything. So then we're going to go to the last uh, Wednesday broadcast of Dynamite before we hit Saturday Night Dynamite.
Hmm.
So it was Young Bucks against Uno and Grayson.
Hmm. And no, they lost.
Bucks picked up the
Mm.
win on that one, which was kind of they needed a win too. As
Hmm.
I talked about it in last episode, was they've got such a deep roster in the tag division that there has to be dudes on the bottom.
Hmm.
But the dudes on the bottom are like top tier.
Right. They can handle their own.
So they need to, I don't know how they rotate them out or in, that's up to Tony. But the Bucks needed to pick up a win finally, and they did. Although Uno and Grayson
Are
are,
supposed to be winning
they're still number one uh,
ranked.
ranked tag. So that was that. After that was MJF's first speech announcing his candidacy
Mhm.
for world champion,
And-
or
right,
however this this
because he's
political.
calling John Moxley a dictator.
Yeah, he's kind of like doing this whole political
Mhm.
campaign
Thing.
gimmick because it is election time.
Yeah, it's an election year,
Uh,
which I get tired of ad campaigns on normal TV, and even these fake, slightly entertaining ones.
so
I'm
you're
like,
not high on MJF's gimmick right now?
no. I mean, if he would have done it earlier, no, not even earlier in the year. Just like I get sick because I mean, when I'm watching TV and ad campaigns come on for like the 40th time in a row, it's just like I'm so tired of it. So,
So MJ, yeah, but see, okay, did scheduling uh, All Out is the last pay per view of the
mhm.
year.
Right. So I mean, it
So,
makes sense.
and the election is in November,
Right.
so he has to get it in. They have to build it to September, and it's September 5th, so it's real early
Yeah.
uh, in the uh, in the month, and then that's it. There's no more pay per views
Yeah.
until January.
So it's like I get why he's doing it. Is just yeah. I don't care.
And then it was, I think, after the Cody and Warhorse match. Uh, Remember, Cody was in the tunnel, and here comes Scorpio Sky
Hmm.
and stared him down and like did one of
And
those on
that's
the title. So
right.
it was Scorpio Sky and Cody,
Hmm.
and
And Cody beat him.
Cody did win, and Scorpio kind of looked a little flustered at the end. I don't know if it was enough to warrant a heel turn from Scorpio Sky. I don't know if that would go over. I think he's good as a baby face right now.
Yeah.
Also, the number 5 ranked Jurassic Express and they went for the titles against Omega and Hangman.
They did not win.
They were not successful in that.
Sadly.
But Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are still
champions.
Yeah, the champs, and they're still holding it together, barely hanging on. I don't have the order of what it was. So, okay, Sheeta versus Heather Monroe.
I don't remember that match. I'm sure Sheeta won, but I don't remember.
And interesting that Heather Monroe comes from a company called Santino Brothers Wrestling. It's a school down in LA. She's been with them for like 4 years, and she's a friend of Ruby Ray's. So is Warhorse, actually. But yeah, Heather Monroe I think it was a debut, and she lost. She'd of course, still doing like this open challenge sort of thing, where she just wants anybody to come at her. And then the headline match that week was Orange Cassidy and Jericho, the $7,000 obligation match.
Right, that Cassidy won.
Yeah, he did. Oh, you know what I didn't have on here, and we didn't talk about it, or did we? Was the debate.
No, I think I talked about it because I talked about how like it would have been funny if he would have waited like when they were asking the questions, if by the time they got to the third he answered the first one or something like that. But
because we talked about Bischoff being back and everything, so I guess we did. So this one was the $7,000 obligation match. Cassidy beat Jericho, and he did that weird thing. I don't know if it was a submission. It was called the mousetrap.
Oh, I can't picture it, but I remember that.
It was weird. I'd never seen that before. It was an inside. It was like an inside cradle, but in the ropes or something.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's right. No, it was a pin. It wasn't a submission. He just so in amateur wrestling they call it a crossface or something, but it's where you capture the head and the leg and you roll them back.
Yeah, but he had it it started out and did it from the ropes.
Yeah.
So that was weird, but yeah. So that was good. And then also the semifinals from the women's tournament also happened that week, and that was Tay Conti and Anna Jay from the Dark Order against Diamante and Ivelisse.
Which Diamante and Ivelisse won.
Right, because then they went to the finals, which is part of our next episode, which is right here. Saturday Night Dynamite.
That we initially missed, and we caught the end of.
Well, it's weird because they claimed it was going to be on at 5:00,
or after
8:00 Eastern, which is 5:00 here, after the basketball game. But then they must have said 5:00 Eastern because it was on 3:00 over here. And I was looking for it at 5:00, and we saw like the last 10 minutes of it.
And not even that, like the last 10 seconds.
Because basketball ran over, but we were able to catch it on the DVR, so we did get to see the entire thing.
Well, most of the entire thing. We did.
Well, we had to pick up some stuff off of YouTube.
Because there was like 33 minutes of basketball on the DVR.
But we can go over it with y'all, and that'll catch us up for this episode. So let's go with, although it wasn't first on the card, the Deadly Draw Finals of the women's tournament. Ivelisse and Diamante against the Nightmare Sisters.
And Ivelisse and Diamante picked up the win. Which surprised me. Surprised you. Because that was, my prediction was that the Nightmare Sisters would win, and that's when Allie would turn on Brandy, but that didn't happen. So
But Brandy was being super annoying with her action figure. She
right,
put one in Alex Marvez's pocket. She had
right.
she was giving them to people, and she tried to give one to Allie. And I was like, no.
Yeah, so that's not. I
So they're
was
still going to
surprised.
break up.
I mean, of course, but like my prediction was shot.
Yeah, I'm thinking after we're done with this, I'll probably well, no, I've got a few errands to do, but I'm going to catch maybe late tonight Dark 48, 49. And because on Dark is where they've been having a lot of Nightmare Sisters stuff,
Right.
um, vignettes and everything else. So we'll see if there's fallout from that. Maybe they're finally going to break up. I don't know. But Ivelisse and Diamante, the Latin connection, picked up the win, picked up the cup.
Hmm.
Now,
There's a cup and medals.
yeah. Now I'm hoping this means they've kickstarted their women's division and they're going to have a tag division now.
Hmm.
Because what would be the point of them winning as a tag team, and if there's
No
no
tag titles.
no more tag wrestling going on?
I'm sure they're going to.
And they did say when they started this company that tag team wrestling was going to be the focus.
Hmm.
Everything else was going to be there, but they really and my goodness, they've got such a tag division.
Yeah, they do. And
It's
that.
crazy. I don't even think there's room for anybody else right now. I'd be surprised if they signed any more tags.
Right. I'm sure they just need some more single. Actually, no. They need more face teams. There's just heel teams. Where's your face teams?
Yeah,
You got Jurassic Express,
private party.
Private Party,
Uh, 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 best friends.
Best Friends.
I think that's
Then
it, right?
everybody else is heels. Yeah.
Wait,
So,
Paige and
well, yeah, but I mean, Paige has been working. Well, Paige is like an alcoholic, and he shows up to do the right thing, but he doesn't care about
oh
anybody. And
oh
Omega is working heel.
something we missed. Something we missed last week was the tag team appreciation,
Oh yeah, that turned out not to be a tag team
and
appreciation.
that's where FTR turned heel.
Yeah, FTR turned heel. See,
Yeah,
hey,
FTR turned heel and beat up
Rock and Roll
the Rock and
Express
Roll Express.
because they're the active tag team. That's why they didn't beat up the other ones.
Yeah, and Rock and Roll Express. Those dudes are in their 60s,
Yeah.
and they are still out there on the circuit. They were recently. They had a run in NWA where they actually won the tag titles.
Hmm.
And it was because it was like their 30th anniversary as a team, so they gave them the straps, and then they lost them like within a couple of weeks after that. But
Hmm.
just to give them the straps for being together for 30 years and still actively wrestling, and the one dude's lost most of his hair, but
Hmm.
is it Ricky Morton? Is that his name? He's got that fine white hair because
Yeah.
he's wearing his Mino mullet that he's been
Hmm.
rocking for 30 years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Hey, it's worse for him.
And so anyway, that set up Saturday Night Dynamite was now that FTR came out with Tully
Hmm.
because he's still pissed at Arn Anderson for something that happened like at the first pay per view in
Hmm.
2018.
Hmm.
Uh, all all
Stupid
in
dog hair. Yeah.
all in from January,
Hmm.
uh, where something happened and Arn Anderson like did something to Sean Spears or something. I don't know. But Tully is supposedly still holding a grudge after a year.
Two.
So Tully is now the manager, I guess, of FTR. He's
Hmm.
got he had an FTR jacket.
Jacket.
Has his name on
Name.
it. So
Totally.
he's
Yeah.
fully engulfed in that. And they picked up a win against Private Party.
That's right. That's who they went against. Which Private Party was handing FTR their ass.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
they
They were.
did.
Like I
They
said, dude, that tag division is so
Yeah.
deep with top tier talent. So that was a
Did they
really.
cheat to win, or did they beat them cleanly? FTR.
I think there was some shenanigans, but I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly. But and then it was interesting is okay. The rumors were that they were going to do a new Horseman with Arn and Tully as co-managers with FTR, Sean Spears, and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like now the
Because
way I
Tully
saw it,
still hates Arn or
right?
whatever.
So it looks like instead it's going to FTR, Sean Spears, and Adam Page, Hangman,
Hmm.
because there was a backstage thing where FTR and Tully were talking to
Oh yeah,
Page,
yeah.
and they were like, "Hey, you've got no. Where were your friends? They don't come out.
Mhm.
They don't help you. They don't support you. Blah blah blah." And he goes. He said something about if I forgot who they're going to fight against. It's like there's two teams, and then the winner go against Page and Omega. And he goes, "But what if we beat them, and it's us against you
Mhm.
and we of course want the best team to win, but so they're trying to lure him over to their side."
Right.
And there was two pictures that I saw from backstage. One was um, FTR and Tully, and they were doing a three. The normal horseman sign is the four, and it's always at an angle like this. So, but they were doing a three,
Mhm.
and then there was another picture later where they were doing the four, and there was just a hand over here. You couldn't see who it was. Could
Mhm.
have been Sean Spears, or could it have been Page? We don't know. So we're going to see how that's going to play out. Because
Mhm.
in the meantime, Omega is still
Doing
working
Healy
heelish
still.
behavior,
Yeah.
so we don't know. Then there was another MJF promo where he talked about with his lawyer and his campaign staff about banning the paradigm
Paradigm
shift,
shift because Mox hit it on him.
and yeah, he's in the neck
The
brace
brace.
now, which I don't think it's going to work because we already know that Moxley doesn't have to use the
Here's a
paradigm
paradigm
shift.
shift.
That's how he beat Cage.
Right.
He beat him with an arm submission.
Yeah, because that
So,
was the whole thing. Like you can ban it for the night, but it doesn't matter.
well, even they didn't, and it wasn't banned. Moxley just they said he was too Cage was too massive around the shoulders for him to get it on him,
So he couldn't
and
do
then
it
so Moxley's
completely.
like, so what? Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'll rip his arm out, and he did.
Right. So if they
So
banning the paradigm, I don't know
isn't
why
gonna
my face is so itchy.
banning the paradigm shift isn't going to affect him whatsoever. So I think MJF is going to lose.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to ask you about that. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure MJF is going to try to hit a paradigm shift on Mox. He may or may not. I don't know. But I don't see Mox losing the title
To
anytime soon.
MJF,
I was just gonna say anytime soon, but I mean at the same time, that's gonna be MJF's first like singles loss where he's pinned and or submitted or whatever.
mm-hmm.
So
Or do they keep his streak alive?
and he comes out on top and beats Mox.
Do we want a heel champion?
I mean, is Moxley not a heel?
No.
No. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, it fits into his "I'm better than you and you know it" type deal,
And he's been held back for a year.
but I don't see him going the distance and beating Moxley. I
Whoa.
mean, maybe he could surprise us, but like,
Or maybe he needs help from Wardlow.
yeah, there might be a little shenanigans,
Because we're
or
still waiting for them to break up,
right,
too.
or that's when Wardlow turns on him.
It's so funny, the long term booking and the
Right.
long term story versus we got a pay per view coming up, let's throw something together.
What if I just thought of this? Because the last time that MJF was close to a title picture, it was Cody, and so he threw in the towel, right? MJF to stop the beating, and then he kicked Cody in the
Mm-hmm.
chicken tenders and like
The yam bag,
and
as Taz
turned on
calls
him.
him,
So
right?
what if
Wardlow does the same thing.
yeah, that or Cody comes down and throws in the towel. I don't know. Who cares?
Uh,
It'd be interesting.
Now, this is where we got into some really good stuff here. This was the Natural Nightmares, which is QT Marshall and
Natural.
Dustin with Jurassic Express
Mm-hmm.
against Butcher Blade and the Luchas.
Yeah.
And there was a thing. I noted that QT was kind of no selling a couple of things.
Yeah, he was like taking shots and he's like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, and he would just like keep going with what he was doing. And he was also kind of doing some strong style.
Yeah, a
They
little
weren't
bit.
receipts. He was strong style. He was
Yeah.
like totally forceful with it.
Stiffen a couple people.
Yeah. And then also but they picked up the win over Butcher Blade and the Luchas,
Luchas.
and they all started.
arguing.
arguing.
Well, it was because one of them set up for their what's his name? Was it Ray Phoenix? Phoenix,
It
whatever.
was or was it Pentagon that refused? It was Pentagon, wasn't it?
No, because they had him set up because the Luchas do that their tag thing, and so the Lucha guy, I don't remember his name, but he has the white face paint. Had
That's
him,
Pentagon.
yeah, Pentagon had him set up, and then the Blade was going to jump and do it, and
It's
Pentagon,
a jackhammer
yeah,
tombstone.
and uh, Pentagon was telling him, no, that's
That's
it's
Ray's.
only for Ray, so you can't do it, and that's what caused him to lose. And then they started fighting.
Yeah, and then we got the surprise. They were all. I was like, and I'm sitting there going, I want more of these guys because they work so well together. This was their third appearance with them all together, and I'm like, I want more of this. I'm like, oh crap! Now we're not going to get any more
Because they're gonna
because they're going to
break
break up. But then Eddie Kingston comes out, who is just one of the best talkers you've ever heard. And he's a good wrestler too, but he is really good as a talker and manager. And so Eddie Kingston comes out and starts telling him to quit fighting. He's pushing him, separating him. Hey,
Yeah.
you stop. Hey, you stop. And he tells Pentagon, "You're like the craziest lucha I've ever met. You're the
Right.
craziest one." Tells Ray Phoenix, "You're the best lucha
Right.
of all time." And he talks up Butcher and Blade of how great they are, and basically said they need to quit and they need to take over and whatever.
Yeah.
And then he got them all together as kind of a group hug huddle. And then he
just
winked at the camera and smiled really big. I'm like, oh, damn.
and another heel faction.
Yep. Or
Heel.
are they?
Yeah, they're heels.
I don't
They're
know.
going to be heels.
Well, not if they go to war against Dark Order.
That's true, but I don't. Yeah, they're heels.
But yeah, I love Eddie Kingston. I'm so glad he's back. He was almost going to retire 2 years ago. No, last year he was going to retire, and then he changed his mind, and then he got this opportunity to go with AEW. They loved it. They loved it. His match against Cody,
Mm-hmm.
but then he got injured right away, which was such a heartbreak.
Yeah, but I mean, now he's going to be managing whatever they're going to call.
Yeah, I don't know what the name's going to be. I bet you merch is available next week.
Lucha Butchers? I don't know.
Not bad.
That's
Not bad. Not bad.
Off the top of my head. I'm sure the people that get paid
It can't be
money.
the Butcher Brothers. So
Yeah, I'm sure the people that get paid money will come up with a cool name.
next was Britt Baker and Reba with Penelope Ford.
Oh yeah, their little like promo in a gym. They were in a gym, right? Yeah, they were in a gym and they were giving like their promos back and forth.
Well, because they had a handicap match against Big Swole.
I thought that was set up for next week because I don't. Did I miss that?
I don't
Pretty
think
sure
so.
they set that up for next week because that wasn't. Oh no, because remember the DVR got cut off, so we didn't get to see if that was after that.
Yeah.
So
Then there was Orange Cassidy's interview with Shivani,
mhm.
and Jericho interrupted and made his announcement of
For the Mimosa match or Mimosa Mayhem,
Mimosa Mayhem, which is Jericho is like such a freaking genius with this
right?
stuff. It's so dopey and kind of dumb, but at the same time, like, oh, that's a cool name.
Which is funny because
Because he also came up with the Manitoba Melee,
right,
the Stadium Stampede,
mm-hmm.
and now the Mimosa Mayhem.
Well, what's funny is I was sitting there and he's describing he's like, I'm all about the bubbly and you're all about the orange. I was like, mimosa? I was like, mimosa. And I was like, how are they going to do that? And then he's like, this is how.
We're going to have a giant vat with 80 gallons of champagne and orange juice. And you got to throw the other person into it to win, I think.
Yeah. Well, you pinfall, submission, or throwing them into the vat of mimosa. So I can't wait to watch Jericho swimming around in
They're calling
mimosa.
it Jericho versus Cassidy 3 because they each have a win over each other.
And he's like, where I come from, you have to break the tiebreaker to see who the better one is.
They call it the rubber match.
Yeah, I think Jericho is going to go for a swim in some mimosa.
And just like McMahon, he's taking not bumps, but he's taking, I don't know how you would say it.
The losses.
He's taking the hits he's doing the embarrassing stuff for the company, for the good of
Hmm.
the company. Mr. McMahon peed his pants
Hmm.
on camera, which was so fake, but because that was his feud with Stone Cold.
Hmm.
He fell off the building, or he got thrown off the building
Right.
at the. I mean, and here's Jericho. Jericho got doused in the orange
Mhm.
juice.
Right.
He's going to get doused again at the mimosa match.
Right. He's going in.
He took I mean, he's just taking
The stuff. He's making it work.
yeah, he is such a, it's so funny because, okay, officially it's Kenny, Young Bucks, and Cody, and I think Paige, or no, Brandy, are with Tony Khan, are the executives.
Hmm.
But then they signed Jericho, and he's kind of latched on to where they listen to him, and they're taking his ideas.
Hmm.
He came up with all their successful stuff.
Hmm.
He came up with Bubbly Bunch. Uh, he came up with Guevara's Return
Hmm.
as Serpentico. I mean, he has just came up with so much stuff, and they're just like they're listening to him, and he is such a creative uh, guy.
Hmm.
And before I go on to a couple of these other things, it's like, and on that note about creative, all these guys, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, they're getting WWE rejects," blah. But all these guys coming over for WWE were held back, held down, not allowed to come up with any of ideas for themselves.
Hmm.
Very few of them can that have Vince's ear. That was, I think, Jericho, which and he's made. No, everybody knows that, but also I believe Ziggler can pitch what he wants, and there's just like very few.
Right.
But all these guys that have been held back are coming over here, and they're given free reign to try whatever they want, and they are so much happier. I watched the Eric Rowan interview earlier today when Chris Van Vliet asked him about Brody.
Hmm.
Um, he what he thinks about him about what he's doing in AEW. And Rowan just smiled and said, he is happy. He is so happy. I haven't seen him that happy in years
Hmm.
because he's his character, the exalted one,
Hmm.
and the reformation, the rebooting of the Dark Order, which now I'm really happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that they finally got it. I wish they would stop losing so much because
But
that's
they,
their thing.
but
But
where
they'll
is
get
that?
to it.
We'll get
That
okay,
was the
yeah.
ending.
So then, anyway, all these guys coming over here, Matt Cardona, all these guys are getting the chance to do what they want, and they are so happy to do it. They're so happy to they're happy to be creative, so that makes them want to put on a good show, a good match.
Right.
So it's awesome over there. I can't say enough about these guys. This is wrestling I want to watch. Went back and watched a little bit of was it was Raw. I think we watched a little bit of SmackDown too.
Yeah, we saw a little bit.
But
Like the most interesting thing over there is like the whole Fiend storyline, and now it's ruined that Roman Reigns is back. It's kind of ruined. It's going to be lame. But
so let's go back. Dark Order 3, 4, and 5, which is Reynolds, Silver, and Angels, went against uh, the Young Bucks with Kenny,
oh yeah, they won.
and they won that match. Which again, Dark Order, they need to stop losing and start winning, which is their whole motto.
Right. Yeah.
But then we had Will Hobbs made his debut on Dynamite
Right.
against Darby Allin.
But Allen beat him.
Yeah, it was kind of I've noted here squash.
It was a semi
It
squash.
was a semi squash match. But also, I think I don't have it written here. Um, that was also after the match that Taz said that there was a
Oh,
new member of
yeah, and it was Ricky Starks with.
FTW, or Team Taz as he called it.
Mhm.
Another guy named Darby, which
Mhm.
I think he just called it Darby, and it was of course Ricky Starks wearing the Darby makeup
Mhm.
and like doing a parody of him. But I think it would have been funny if he called them Darby
And
Starks.
Right.
I think it would have been funnier. Was that after the match or was that before?
Yeah, it was afterwards.
Yeah. So he did that whole promo. So
Because Starks beat him down.
So Starks and Allen are going to have a feud,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. I'm good with it. Yeah, all stemming from the skateboard.
Yeah, well, actually, it all stems from Taz offering Darby,
Hell,
yeah,
to
like
guide his
I
career.
can help you out, and he said no, and then he came out with Brian Cage.
Yeah. And so anyway, that's a good story, a long-term storytelling. And so we'll go into a Starks Darby Allen feud. I'm down with that. But Will Hobbs made his main roster debut, which is cool.
Hmm.
I don't know if they're going to keep him there or not. We'll see tomorrow or Thursday, excuse me.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
There was the
uh,
women's match.
the finals. No, we already talked about that.
Oh,
So it
then
was Brody and Cody.
Yeah, and that was a squash match. That was major squash.
Well, no, because it went for a few minutes. Because the squash is usually you come in and it's like 30 seconds, somebody gets beat.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
dip. But Cody did not have any
offense.
defense.
No, he got his.
He had no defense against or offense against Brody. Brody just beat his ass
Yeah, just
for like 8 minutes.
it wasn't even 8 minutes. It was 6 minutes, if that. He just like, I think 6 minutes was the entrance. He just like he beat him down. Like Cody, the bell rang. Cody ran at him, hit him a couple times, and then
And
just
that was it.
Brody just demolished him.
Yeah. And
Kicked his face
when
off.
But when you're going to win a title, that's the way you do it.
Right.
You don't do it by eking out a surprise schoolboy roll up
Yeah.
or some nonsense like that.
Right.
You beat ass and you take the belt,
And he did.
and
he
he
really
did. And then there was the beat down afterwards.
On Cody.
Well, because he did.
I think it was the discus.
Well, but he did something before the discus. He did 2 in a row of some kind of a devastating move, and then he hit him with the discus, and that's supposedly what screwed up his neck.
Right.
And they put him on the
Stretcher.
And then as they were wheeling him out, the whole Dark Order was on the ramp, and then Brody
Minus Cabana. Cabana wasn't
yeah, that was weird because he's supposed to be. Maybe he had a travel issue. I don't know.
there. He wasn't there.
He wasn't on there, but as they were wheeling, Cody away on the not stretcher, but
It was pretty much a
well,
stretcher.
stretcher on wheels. I think there's a name for it. I don't remember, but it was 4 and 5
Mm-hmm.
went over there, or no, 3 and 4. 3 and 4 went over and like stopped, and then there was like a whole bunch of them. So even some creepers
Mm-hmm.
showed up, and they were surrounding or half surrounding the stretcher and Arn, and Arn just goes, "Oh crap!"
And he actually gets a
And Arn
couple
goes,
hits.
"I'm gonna throw. If these guys are gonna get me, I'm gonna go down swinging." And Arn Anderson, I think he's 67,
Mm-hmm.
and he threw some swings and threw a couple of guys around, but then they bum rushed him
Mm-hmm.
and got him down, and then Brody Lee grabbed the stretcher and pulled it back out of the tunnel and to the main stage thing and flipped it over.
Mm-hmm.
And then previously, Brody had the old
TNT
T-
tag.
the old TNT belt, and Cody had the new version. And then in his promo he said, "I'll give this back to you.
Right.
You can keep it, and I'll take yours." And exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now he didn't have he had it in a bag, and he
Clocked him with it.
He bopped him over the head with it. You could hear it break, and then he dumped out the pieces. And he didn't have the strap part of it. He just had the faceplate,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all broken up in pieces. And he says, "Yeah, there you go. You can keep
Mm-hmm.
that." And then Brandy runs out to protect him. She's like hovering over him, like no, no. And
Mm-hmm.
then so Brody Lee goes, "Well, I got an answer for that." Here comes Anna Jay, who wasn't even anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
She comes out of the tunnel and she's already standing there. And I love how he did this with Colt Cabana too. He does this motion where he just goes,
Yeah, like that. It's yours.
"There you go. Do what you want to do."
And so she went in there and choked out Brandy.
Yeah, it was sleeper hold.
Yeah.
Which was funny, as I said. she did in 10 seconds what Allie's been trying to do for a year.
Yep.
Just take out Brandy.
Well, actually, the whole Dark Order, because then they brought in Dustin, who got dusted, and then they brought out QT,
Yeah, they kicked all those dudes' asses.
and just kind of laid them
So
out.
they took out the whole Nightmare family, which was what? Well,
Butcher and Blade was supposed to do.
yeah. Well,
And
they
they-
were specifically they were targeting Cody, but yeah, I
Mhm.
think they did say in one of their early promos
Yeah,
that they wanted to take out the Nightmare family, and Dark Order just did.
yeah.
And so that was
Except new Matt Cardona didn't come out and help him.
yeah. Where was Cody's backup?
His best.
Where
Well,
was the Elite? Young Bucks,
right.
Omega and Page,
They weren't there.
those guys, and
Cardona.
Cardona. So he had 5 backups.
Yeah.
That never showed up,
Right.
and
'Cause
we had uh, 7 guys in the Dark Order plus a couple of creepers,
right.
and here was five guys that could have. And with Arn, if they would have got their in time
hmm
with Arn, he had 6 backups right there.
Right. And the Nightmare family, as we just mentioned, got taken out. That's why, because they were off screen in the backstage. Because we didn't see it, a couple creepers are carrying Dustin and throw him on the ground, and then right behind him they have QT and they drop him. So like those guys got beat up in the back, but I mean the other guys, maybe they just went
But they
home because
didn't
their
like it.
matches had already happened,
But it's like in
except for Cardona.
one segment of a match. We don't even know. I would say 20 minutes. The
Mhm.
Dark Order did what Butcher, Blade, and Alley have been trying to do for like a year.
hmm Turns out it's not that difficult.
You just have to beat their ass.
hmm
So
But there was a thing I was talking. I mean, besides the beating Cody and all of that, having the title. I don't know, you're probably tired of me hearing it, saying that I want to see, Brody Lee said, it's my title. I kind of wanted him to say it's our title, but I want him to be like handing the title to other people, letting them hold it. He's trying to get Cabana on his side, put it around Cabana and be like, do you want your own? Commit to the Dark Order, things like that.
which it would have to be the world title
Yeah,
because
the
this is
Mox's
just the
title.
TV title.
Right.
Cabana and Mox, I'm down for that.
That Cabana would definitely can go the mile with Mox at it.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'd like to see that. They set up a couple of things for Thursday, and then All Out is in September. I
Mhm.
think it's September 5th. I don't remember if it's September 5th or 22nd. I'm confused on those dates. But long term storytelling has been so awesome.
Mhm.
I mean, everything that we saw or everything that happened makes us well, except for MJF and his campaign promo
Yeah.
thing. Everything that we've seen that set up some kind of a story, we want to see.
Mhm.
We want to see what's going to happen with Ivelisse and Diamante.
Diamante.
Is there a women's tag division? We want to know. We want
I want to know
that.
what the belts look like. Are they
We
normal size?
we want to know. Are the Nightmare Sisters going to break up?
Mhm.
Also, one thing that we didn't talk about as far as the women's division, we want to see is Cameron. I can't remember her name.
Oh, the Funkadactyl?
Yeah,
Ah, it starts with a C.
is she gonna? She looks like she's gonna feud with Nyla
Mhm.
because Nyla faked the knee injury to lose the. I mean, and that's kind of weird for her to. I guess she figures I'm not a tag wrestler. I'm a singles competitor, so
Mhm.
screw this tournament.
Right. Maybe.
Which she should have said in a promo, which would have been, or maybe she will. So, I mean, that's stuff that we want to see.
Mhm.
FTR with Tully, we want to see. Are they going to start a new Horseman? Who's
Right.
going to be in it?
Mhm. That's happening.
Yeah. The Butcher and Blade and the Luchas, now they're aligned with Kingston. What's going to happen there? I mean, this is stuff that we're looking forward to.
Right.
Britt Baker, we finally want to see her.
Yeah, I can't wait for her return.
Now, and then you notice this too. Britt Baker is playing this broken nose, which she just got slapped by Reba. I don't know how she's saying her nose is broken. And then her knee. No, we know she did get a knee surgery,
Right.
but they're making it take longer for her to return than normal. Everybody else would have been recovered off of this injury by now,
Hmm.
this surgery. And that's Tony keeping her out of the ring, but keeping her there
Hmm.
for her heel status. But then we saw an episode of Being the Elite where it was some kind of thing where a rumor was going around.
Hmm.
And you noticed that Britt Baker wasn't in her wheelchair.
Yeah.
She was talking to somebody. She was whispering into somebody's ear. She was standing up.
Hmm.
So obviously she's not
She's not
that.
confined to the wheelchair.
Yeah. So, but she's going to make her return in the ring in September.
Hmm.
We also, no, I don't really care about Penelope Ford. I don't care. Um, and we didn't. There's a couple of things that we haven't mentioned was that three AEW super. What am I calling them? Superstars? Three AEW wrestlers got let go.
Bella.
Three wrestlers got let go. It was Jimmy Havoc,
Hmm.
who got
Caught up in
the
speaking out.
speaking out movement,
Hmm.
and then Sadie Gibbs and I forgot the other girl wrestler, and there was like they weren't really using them, and they're English, so they're stuck over there with Pat. They can't
Hmm.
travel, so it's like
Right.
But actually, Sadie Gibbs was a pretty good wrestler. Um, and then that was pretty much it for Dynamite this week and Dark. We've got a Dark to watch today, or both of us should watch it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other company
Oh, are we? Okay.
because there was a couple of things that happened over there that were kind of noteworthy. I mean, I try to watch SmackDown, but
The only thing that I know, and it's the only thing that like really interests me, is that the Fiend defeated Strowman to win back the title,
the Blue Universal
Wrestle Time,
Championship.
as Ollie and the Wrestle Talk calls it. I'm like, sweet, he's gonna get a proper title run, and then Roman Reigns shows up, and come on, give him a
And
proper title
immediately
run.
he's in the title.
Yeah, it's a triple threat between Strowman, Fiend, and Roman.
Reigns,
Sorry, I was like Strowman,
the
Roman,
monster, the Fiend, and the big dog.
and like he could possibly win it in this triple. I was like, cool. Thank you for nothing. Thanks. Like, don't get me wrong, I really don't like Roman Reigns, but it just doesn't make sense. He's like gone forever. He's like they don't mention him at all. The commentators aren't allowed to talk about Roman Reigns. Allegedly, there's like this backstage heat on him, and then
Because if he won't work,
because he refuses to work, which I mean,
he would work in the pandemic.
which makes sense. I mean, like his immune system is pretty compromised. He's
From
battled leukemia twice and won. But I mean, like COVID, like that makes a whole lot of sense that he, kudos. But like, oh, he shows up and I'm in the title.
I don't know
Cool.
where else they would put him though.
I don't know. How about
He
let
is
him work his way up?
supposedly he's the biggest dude in the company, the face.
He's supposed to be Cena.
Yeah, he took Cena's place as the benchmark. So I don't know, but then you've got Orton doing his best heel work in years.
Hmm.
But there's rumors now about he's going to retire pretty soon, and then you've got Rollins over on Raw doing his best heel work as the Monday Night Messiah gimmick.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm still not compelled to watch a full episode. I tried. I tried to watch Raw the other night.
Hmm.
Eh.
Thankfully I was working.
So it's just like I watched. I've been watching wrestling since I was like 6, 7 years old. And then in the '80s, Vince took his company and made it the biggest thing in the world as far as wrestling goes. He bought all the territories by hook or by crook, and and you got Hogan and you got all those guys in the '80s that were. But the thing is they were like cartoon stars. They were all funny gimmicks. They all had. You had a guy that was like a trash man. You had all
Right.
these things. And some of it was good, and some of it wasn't so good. but on the back of Hogan mostly, but also probably on the back of Hart and a couple of other guys.
Hmm.
They just took that thing to the mainstream where wrestlers were appearing on talk shows, wrestlers were music videos.
Hmm. Movies.
There was not too many of them did
No,
movies,
but
just Hogan.
Hogan did movies, but
But
they
then,
started to.
yeah, Piper did his one and only movie, the cult classic "They Live."
Hmm.
But they even had their own cartoon show,
Hmm.
and so it was family friendly stuff, and but that's where they made their most of their bajillion dollars. And then in the Attitude Era, helped them get more money and help make bigger stars out of like I don't want to say all the heels, but they everybody became bigger, and it just got so overblown and bloated that the PG reality era, whatever the hell they call it, it just it just like killed everything to
Yeah.
me. It just made it bad. Their booking got really crappy. They'd sign all these guys and
Do nothing with them.
do nothing with them.
It's just to keep them out of competition.
Well, that's more recently, but I mean, in the last 10 years, it's just
Hmm.
been uh, some of the older guys are retiring. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, because he keeps coming back. So I don't know.
He's like, I'm retired. Just kidding.
I'm retired. Here's $1 million. I'm back. Um, Big Show, but now he's come back again. Mark Henry, who
Yeah,
just came back
yeah.
again. But all these, and that's why, because they're losing their older viewers. And
They can't. They for some reason can't successfully build new stars unless they're instantly liked, like Strowman, The Fiend, stuff like that.
well, and then, the older guys are coming back because they're losing. They can't get the 18 to 49. They can't get that demo.
Hmm.
They try and they can't. It's proven. It's 36 weeks versus 6 weeks in
Hmm.
the rating of the demo with AEW. So they try to get maybe we can save our older viewers who have been watching us for a long time if we bring back legends,
Hmm.
Flair, Mark Henry. All these guys are coming back to kind of help,
Shawn Michaels.
trying to help the ratings there. And those guys are. I don't mind. I don't. I got a couple of friends that call them, "Oh, it's the old guys. We don't want to see the old guys." Well, I don't mind seeing them come out as long as they just don't get beat down for, you know.
Right, and I heard is Orton on SmackDown or Raw?
Um,
I don't know. You were watching one of them, and they were talking about Orton having a match, and he's gone back to being the
oh,
Legend Killer.
yeah, yeah. That was on. That was on Raw because it was his match was against Keith Lee.
I do. Why did he go back to being the Legend Killer?
I know because he punted Flair, but well, he attacked somebody else too, but
Shawn
farther back.
Michaels.
But uh, Keith Lee's debut though
I didn't see it.
didn't. Were you
No.
gone?
Yeah.
Orton was taking bumps like crazy for him.
Hmm.
There was a cool one where they were slugging it out, and then Orton went to throw a punch, and Keith Lee caught his hand and then started squeezing it, and Orton sold it as when he
Well,
went down on his knees and everything.
that's good for Keith. I mean, I'm glad that Orton did that.
Yeah, and Lee. I mean, they want to push this guy. Uh, you call him up and put him with the top heel in the company
Hmm.
on that brand. That's awesome. That's the way you debut somebody.
Hmm.
Remember, it was the Six or whoever the Keith, Lars Sullivan and Nikki Cross and all them came up and nothing.
Right.
Keith Lee, they put him right there with Orton, and they worked really good together.
Hmm.
Um, I, I don't know if I'm going to watch it again next week, but I'm excited for a Keith Lee Orton feud.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll catch it on YouTube.
Something.
Um, so that was that. Uh, Bianca Belair
It
in
is
in the
joined
Riot Squad.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. That's who I remember the
And
rats
Sarah
going
Logan's
to.
like, what the hell? But I
Yeah,
think she got released. I think she was part of the April release.
she might have been.
She has a YouTube show with her husband where they do Viking things.
Cool.
And um,
And then they beat up the Iconics and the not Charlotte Flair girl.
no, it was you thought Peyton Royce was Charlotte Flair or the Charlotte Flair knockoff.
Yeah, the girl with blonde hair that kind of looked like Charlotte Flair.
No, you'd have to get another look. You must have just caught a glance
Maybe.
because Peyton Royce is from the Iconics. It was the
Mhm.
Iconics and Zelina Vega,
Oh, that's who it was. Oh, okay.
and Zelina Vega is the AJ Lee knockoff.
Right.
So, but anyway, I mean, there's some good things going on there now, but I haven't watched it in 2, 3 months. But it wasn't hard either to catch up on the stars. Oh, and then this Raw Underground.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about that. Oh, I did see a little bit of that where like Bobby Lashley choked out that dude and then like he fought
But I
Ziggles.
just don't understand why you're going to put main roster guys in Underground. Underground basically means not mainstream, but you're bringing all the mainstream dudes in. It's totally stupid.
Hmm.
They did get rid of the dancing girls because everybody freaked out. I'm like, why not? If it's an underground thing, it's not mainstream. It's against the grain. Then why not have sexy dances?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Um, but like I said, now and a guy commented on YouTube about it, and I agree because Ziggler was there.
Hmm.
How is Ziggler going to beat somebody in 30 seconds on this underground? Because that's 10 to 30 seconds as long as these matches go.
Hmm.
But then on the main roster, he can't win an 8 minute match. It's just stupid.
Hmm.
It's a good concept. I like it, but I don't want main roster guys on there. Let all these weird underground. Remember that giant dude?
Hmm.
You're like, where did that guy come from? He was some basketball player or something,
Oh yeah, because he was standing next to Shane.
and he's like 8 feet tall,
Yeah, and Shane, no slouch. He's six, whatever.
and he can wrestle like a bastard.
Yeah.
But like I said, no, don't keep the main roster out of Raw Underground, and I will sure I'll catch it sometime.
Hmm.
Um, I think that was it as far as the other company.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for today. I do have some things to do before I need to go to
Mhm.
work.
Just a reminder, want to wrestle? We're hopefully our creative art director will get our graphics for us pretty soon.
Yeah, there might be one on here that I made that's not going to look that
A
good.
temporary
Yeah,
until we get her.
it will look
Um,
semi nice because I'm just taking the one that she's already made and just slightly editing it to put the name on
and
there.
if you're new to the show, that's the creative art director is my daughter Jessica. Hi kid, and my granddaughter Elena. Grandpa loves you. Um, let's do a couple shout outs if you want to shout out some of your friends that were here for your birthday.
I don't.
Maybe they'll watch.
Maybe.
Who do you think is most likely to watch?
None of them.
None of them like wrestling.
No, I don't have a single friend that watches wrestling. Actually, that's not true, but she wasn't here.
Okay, shout out.
Her name is Sierra.
Okay,
She watches wrestling. I've been trying to get her to watch AEW.
we're also trying to get Tim in on it.
Yeah,
So shout out to Tim though, who's part of the Wolf family with his show He Who Smelt It. He said he was going to be dropping stuff pretty soon
yeah. He was telling me about how he was working on. Oh, I don't.
because he rebuilt his forge, right?
Yeah, his forge broke, but he rebuilt that, and then he was telling me about these videos that he wanted to get done, or he was shooting some. I think he's finished a few of them, and he's editing them. He's doing like a batch tapings type deal. But I will let you guys know when those start
Have
coming
you
out.
put these links in like you keep saying?
Yeah, dude. Well,
Okay.
how about you look at the description?
I do, and I don't see nothing, but I'm looking at it on my phone or on
Uh,
the TV. I don't see nothing. We shout out to our loyal Wolf Den followers, Flora, Kevin, and what was that woman's name? Kathy,
yeah, Kathy Thomas.
who still hasn't responded to. I said, tell us what you do love about the show.
Right.
tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been a wrestling fan? Are you a wrestling fan, or are you just a fan of two
The
guys
other
talking?
or the other stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, or the other, which brings us back to this has been the first episode of Want to Wrestle,
Hmm.
and we'll be shooting the premiere podcast at another time and get that up pretty soon.
Hmm.
But in the meantime, I'm Daddy-O,
I'm the Wolf.
and we're out of here.
We look forward to howling with you next time.